Mutual intelligibility. A community does with a community. Understand each other, its meaning. If there is no clarity in the communication is Willas. For example, East Sumba and West Sumba in the community, we must use unity language, namely Indonesian language. If there are people from outside the regions, we use Indonesian so that in the communication there is an interaction to understand each other person, even if we have different region in the society community group. Number 2, isoglass is a community items in the same word dialect but different to dimension. For example, in the East Sumba community, there are words of Nyuta, Nyunga, Nyuma, Nyimi, like that. Number 3, in dialect, characteristic of pronunciation in the East Sumba community when talking to others. For example, woi, kamu kau, woi, yo kau. It's like that in the East Sumba language. Number 4, dialect. The dialect itself is divided into social, temporal, and individual based on the grammars and pronunciation. For example, Nyunga halaka pangangu in Sumba language. Number 5, action. A variation of languages sounds based on the pronunciation produced by the speaker. For example, in Sumba we have a very different action. There are Sumba part of Watukuda and there are Sumba section Lairuru village. Like the word Welimu lagi nyumu, Welimu laigamu nyumu, and like that the word Sumba language. Number 1, phonology variation, 2 varieties of languages that focus on the levels. For example, Watufuda village and Lairuru village. People have different pronunciation. For example, Watufuda village, the word motors were O lost, while Lairuru village, the word O is not lost. Number 2, morphology variation. Learn about and differences and use the word languages choice that the same meaning only speakers. In the local area or certain societies. Example, in the NTT, the word sudah become su and pergi become pi. Where are you go? Kopi mana? In Sumba. Number 3, syntax variation. Language variation based on the speaker in the grammatical. For example, Nyungga ningu tamat dua anak kawininggu in Sumba language. Number 4, semantic variation. Language variation that focus on the level of the meanings. For example, Sumba language, Luawa and Lakua have a different pronunciation but have the same meanings. And it's like that. The last, the area of origin of the speaker is one internal factors that cause emergence of language variation if developed to the next generation. So, even if we have different culture, different village, but we have to maintain our language, the first our language in this our culture. So if there is newcomer come in our village, we have to make newcomer understand and interest our own language, the first language, because that is how to maintain, how to keep and protect our own language, so that our first language don't be endangered. Number 2, to cause is to express annoyance by someone saying annoyance to others. Sometimes those words are also used for someone close to us, such as a friend, that influence whether their word is offensive or not, namely intonation, situation, expression, nonverbal, or body language. For example, in Sumba language, nyumu tau hangijir kau, nyumu tau katua bakau, nyumu wang pandupinya napa buhanggo nyunga tau hangijir kau nyumu. Sumba language is like that. The best language in Sumba is. Number 3. Since Naruto Uzumaki left Konohagakure, the hidden left village, for intensive training after the event that sparked his desire to become stronger. Now, Akatsuki, a mysterious organization of range elite ninja, is approaching their grand plan that could trigger the safety of the entire shinobi world. Although Naruto is older and the scheme looms over, he has not changed much in personality, still rude and childish, although he is now much more confident and has a greater determination to protect his body and home. Whatever happens, Naruto will continue to fight for what is very important to him, even at the expense of his own body. In the continuation of the story of the boys want to become a Hokage. Number 4. I analyze the action of speaking in the terms of politeness in the debates of the second President Donald Trump and Joe Biden. The more restrained the candidates allow each other to speak, they are used a respectful tone first, even when they go to speak in the stage. So do it calmly and carefully after the first heated debates, in which Donald Trump's constant interruption may have lost support. In the next polls, the president has clearly lowered the volume and it has become a much more effective debate. Number 5. Number 5. There are some factors that affect extension of regional language. Number 1. Aged generation who prefer language slang rather than their own languages. And also, on the other hand, they are more comfortable when communicating with newcomer from outside in the area. Number 2. The community is still lacking awareness to preserve local languages and they prefer to develop modern language or foreign language. Number 3. The community lacks knowledge to learn to introduce local language to various regions, so that on action to expand foreign language or modern language. Number 4. Lack of interest into maintain local language, so it's more interest to learn new languages more than regional language, so that the language of the area will be endangered. Number 5. Because local languages that rarely use regional languages that are old and difficult to be in conversation or communication, and many who use Indonesian language and foreign language. Number 6. Because the community values an external culture but does not want to learn the languages of its own regional language, so that there will be in the regional language itself will be threatened in the community. It's the same as the good culture in cooperative cooperation in the community, because it does not preserve the language of the regions in the group's community. Number 7. There is no agreement to preserve or develop local language between other people and community groups, and also there is no social unity to maintain its own culture, although many people or external culture are come in community groups. Number 8. The next generation of interest to learning foreign learning and Indonesian language, so that the generation will be experience a decrease in the low language of regional languages in a groups of external factors from another's culture. Number 9. In the community, there are foreign languages that can be entered and many people study it, although actually it will have an impact on the language cultures of the area. If society groups accustomed to learning English or Indonesian modern language, of course, the groups in the society will have low languages and get a mistake in the remembering in the culture itself, in the society community groups.